English has only two tenses, and so does German. Surprised? In school, you probably learned past, present, and future. But linguists using a stricter definition say, if we're talking about morphology, the way a word's form changes, both English and German have past and non-past. Everything else is built with extra words, not new endings on the main verb. Now, here's something important. Not every change in a verb's form is a tense change. Morphology can mark tense, but it can also mark person, like I go versus she goes, or mood, or aspect. In this video, when I say morphological tense, I mean a change in the main verb's shape that directly marks time, past, present, and future, not just who's doing the action. So there are two ways of counting tenses. School grammar counts any time-related verb as a tense. Morphological grammar, the stricter definition, only counts when the main verb changes its shape to show time. Under that definition, as I said, English and German both just have two tenses. For example, go, went, write, wrote, sing, sang, and in German, geht, ging, schreibt, schrieb, will go in English, and werden gehen in German aren't new tenses. They are auxiliary constructions. In English, I will go is called future in school grammar, but morphologically it's just the present form go plus the modal will. In German, werden gehen works exactly the same way. The tense is on the auxiliary, werden, not on the main verb, gehen. You can even swap the auxiliary for a different one. Might go, should go in English, kann gehen or can go in German. The main verb form is still non-past. Perfect forms also work the same way. English had gone and German war gegangen are both past tense on the auxiliary plus perfect aspect on the main verb. English had eaten, German hatte gegessen. In both languages, the main verb's shape hasn't changed to mark time. It's the auxiliary that's doing the time marking. Now compare that with Spanish or Portuguese. They pack tense right into the main verb ending. Hablo, I speak. Hablé, I spoke. Hablaré, I will speak. Como, I eat. Comí, I ate. Comeré, I will eat. Here the main verb changes its shape to show time. That's morphological tense. Then we get forms like había hablado, I had spoken, or habré hablado, I will have spoken. School grammar calls these separate tenses, but morphologically the tense is on the auxiliary, había, imperfect past, or habré, future, while hablado stays as a participle. English does exactly the same thing. I had spoken, past tense on had, participle spoken. I will have spoken, future modal, will, auxiliary, have, plus participle spoken. If we just count the simple morphological tenses, the ones formed without auxiliaries, Spanish and Portuguese have many more than English or German. In Spanish, with hablar, you have indicative, present, hablo, imperfect past, hablaba, preterite past, hablé, future, hablaré, conditional, hablaría, subjunctive present, hable, imperfect, hablara or hablase, future, hablare, rare, mostly legal or formal. There's 8 simple morphological tenses, 5 in the indicative and 3 in the subjunctive in Portuguese. For example, with falar, to speak, indicative present, falo, imperfect, falava, preterite past, falei, future, falaré, conditional, falaria, subjunctive present, fale, subjunctive imperfect, falasse, subjunctive future, falar, and here the future subjunctive is still alive and widely used, not like in Spanish. That's also 8 simple morphological tenses, but with a future subjunctive that's still part of everyday speech. So yes, these languages really do have more morphological tense forms. Now let's take away these entirely. Some languages never change the verb for time. Chinese, Vietnamese, Thai, Lao, Malay, Burmese, Tagalog, yes, in the area of Asia. They rely on time words and aspect markers instead. For example, in Chinese, 我昨天去北京. I yesterday go Beijing means I went to Beijing yesterday. 我明天去北京. I will go tomorrow. I tomorrow go Beijing. An example of context. And here's an example of Thai of an aspect. Leo. Chan gin kao leo. I eat rice already, or I ate rice. Chan gam lang gin kao. I'm eating rice now. Vietnamese. Doi da ăn cơm. I already ate rice. Doi đang ăn cơm. I am eating rice. Doi sẽ ăn cơm. I will eat rice. In all of these, the main verb never changes shape. Time is carried entirely by context, words, and aspect markers. Okay, so here's the map. Languages like English and German have 2 morphological tenses, past and non-past, with auxiliaries for everything else. Spanish and Portuguese, 8 simple morphological tenses, plus compound forms built just like in English and German. And languages like Chinese, Thai, and Vietnamese, no tense at all, just aspect markers and time expressions. Once you understand what counts as a morphological tense, you stop asking, what tense is this? And start asking, how is time being expressed in this sentence? Sometimes it's expressed by change in the verb's shape. Sometimes it's an extra word before or after the verb. Sometimes it's not marked on the verb at all. It's only in the context. And here's the fascinating part. Different languages choose different tools from this time-marking toolbox. Some heavily lean on tense, some on aspect, and some on context alone. I have another video that takes a closer look at aspect and context in these tenseless languages and how they can express time just as precisely as languages with tense. That's also why in yet another video I explore perfective and imperfected verbs, a different but equally important way of looking at time in verbs. Instead of asking, when did it happen? Perfective versus imperfective asks, is action viewed as complete or ongoing? Once you see tense and aspect as separate dimensions, the variety in the world's languages becomes even more incredible, and you'll never hear a sentence the same way again. So, are you ready to put English and German together in the 2 tenses club? And what would it be like to speak a language with no tense at all? Let me know in the comments, and subscribe for more deep dives into fascinating ways human languages work. Thank you for listening, and see you in the next video. If you would like to know more about my experience over the past 5 decades, learning and using more than 30 languages around the globe, with adventures in 101 countries so far, then please visit my website, polyglotdreams.com. There you will find my memoir, A Life in 30 Languages, translated in various languages and integrated with audio and dual readers to offer a great way to improve your target languages.